We get to talk fashionscape and going on first dates. Let's do it.
Okay. Not really relevant to my personal life, but okay.
You know what? It's not relevant to mine either. I ain't been on a first date in like 6 months.
Oh.
But
Well,
still.
now we get to theory craft for your next first date.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's...
Hello and welcome back to XP Waste, where I'm actually really curious what a cooked leaping sturgeon would taste like. I'm Michael.
And I am Oxie. If you're new around here, hi. Welcome to the show. We talk about old school Runescape and all the wonderful things that happen in this game. I'm very tired, so usually there's a better description for that. If you're not new around here, what's up? Welcome back. You know that I would still give a similar description even if I was wide awake.
Yeah. We are excited that you have tuned in and buckle up because we're both tired.
Yeah, Michael, I don't know why Sunday nights are turning into like a really terrible night to record for both of us. So I fence, and the club sports department at my university gave us our time for the year, which is 8 to 10 p.m. And that's late, and my whole body hurts, and I'm home. It's like 11:30 my time. So I go home and take that 1-tick shower and that 2-tick sandwich, which are more like 45 minutes. You know, we literally started recording and I ran up because I'm like, oh, Michael, I forgot I'm thirsty. I need to fill my water bottle. He was like, God damn it, Oxie.
You had your headphones off at that point, but I was like, just take some of mine because I filled my water bottle up.
Aha.
Huzzah. Yeah, if you can't tell, we're not in the same room. We live in different states. I keep saying that, but I said it last week. I don't keep saying it.
2 weeks in a row, baby. Michael and I do not live in the same state. He's hoping for it someday. He's hoping I come down to Texas and live, but
I think you'll like it. Cost of living is great. Doesn't snow.
That's the thing. The not snowing throws me off. I looked out my window yesterday while playing leagues, and we had a pretty constant, nice blanket of snow all day long.
Aww.
And I felt real comfortable with that. I went to Arizona once over the summer, and I sweat my balls off the whole time I was there. We got to the airport, and it was 100 degrees.
In Arizona?
Yes.
In
And I don't...
December?
No, in August, but like...
Oh, in August. Oh, okay.
But I don't know what's the logic behind a dry heat. Like, who... It's still hotter than shit.
Right.
I sweat. My big ass was sweating at that airport. Let me tell you, I don't understand how you can live in such blazing heat with no problem. Plus, I don't like bugs, and I don't know what kind of bugs are down there. So, like...
I mean, there's a lot of bugs.
It's mainly just bees that I don't like. But, you know, I can handle...
I don't see a lot of bees.
I mean, didn't you guys have the murder hornets?
No, that was in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, well, thank God.
Yeah, it's very far.
In any case, I'm good.
Oh, it is supposed to snow here on Wednesday.
Thursday. That's a problem. That shouldn't...
70% chance of snow. And then on Saturday, the overnight low is 9 degrees. I'm not looking forward to that.
Damn, how cold is it going to be when I go there? Oh, my goodness. Yeah,
it's supposed to get cold. And just for context, today, the high was like 70. Tomorrow, the high is 72.
The high was 23 today in Michigan, bro. What?
Yeah, we live in a weird world.
We really do. I woke up for work the other day, and it was, I think, what did I post in IRL? It was like -7 or like -12 or something.
Yeah, it was cold.
It was cold the other day. You could feel it when it's that cold. You walk outside, you're like, no, this is a different kind of cold. This cold is hitting different, and I don't like this. I don't like this.
Have you ever done the thing where you like throw a cup of boiling water up in the air when it's that cold?
No, actually, I haven't.
You
I
should.
have not.
It's really cool. It turns to vapor instantly.
Yeah,
Boiling
no,
water.
we just stay inside when it's that cold. I gotta level with you. We just stay
So
inside.
you asked earlier about how you live in like extreme heat, and my answer is the same. We just stay inside. Like the AC gets you through the summer. You just don't go outside.
And
It's
that's
that simple.
we've circled back to the main point. If it's not obvious by our temperatures and our environments, we play a lot of RuneScape because we just don't go outside. Welcome back to XP Waste, everyone. Michael, what have you been up to this week?
I go. I went back to work this week. I think I said that last week, but like this week was my first official entire full week. And I work 10-hour days. I only work 4 days a week, but during my work week, I have a stint where I'm working 3 days in a row. And for most people, that's not a huge issue, but like the entire time I've worked for this company, the last 4.5 years, I've almost never had to work more than 2 days in a row without a day off. So it's been just like an adjustment. And that's coming back from having bukus of leave for having a kid. So it's not been a great adjustment. But other than life, I mean, in game, I got 94 fishing the last time that we recorded some sort of, I think it was an extra episode.
Okay, you didn't tell me that. Hype.
Yeah. I got 94 fishing. I'm 810K away from 95. Just been skill hopping. Like I did some hunter, did some herbivore the other day. I've been running laps. I'm only 200K till 87 agility. So I've just been trying to take it slow. I'm not, I think you said it today. We were in VC. It's like, I've just accepted the fact that everybody else is going to max before me. And like part of life is just acceptance.
That's
said
some
it.
sage wisdom, but I certainly didn't. I don't remember that. Maybe
Oh, no, it was TMD that said it. TMD said it.
Oh.
He's just like, yeah, you've just accepted the fact that everybody's going to max for you. I'm like, yes, because it's not a race.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. I was talking to Jamie about the Inferno. I watched her send an Inferno run. She made it to wave 62, which is it's right before the big mama, the big spicy 63, where you get literally everything in the same wave. Double blob, range, mage, melee. I've never made it to 63, but I was saying last night, I'm like, well, Jamie's beat my PB. That's unacceptable. I have to get back in the pit. And she made a comment that was like, yeah, let's not turn this into a competition because like it's just not going to be fun for either one of us.
Right.
And I said it jokingly. I didn't like mean to be like, oh no, yeah, I'm going to beat you to the Infernal Cape. But for real though, like sometimes when it's a contest, it's just not as fun.
Right.
Like, you know, because then you're pressured for the wrong reasons to try to max, and you're gonna have to force yourself into ways that you're not comfortable with to do things like max or get the cape. It sounds like major avoidance from Michael and I, but I promise that's our strat, is to not race people. You know, that makes sense.
And you said it perfectly just then. Like, don't put that pressure on yourself. Because I know for me personally, within the last 5 months, having done 99 runecrafting and then pushed for 99 mining, I put a ton of pressure on myself. And there were times where it bled into my personal life in a negative way. And I think for me in the new year, although I love this game, I'm not going to put as much pressure on myself to prioritize goals over my family, over like work goals, over like just bettering myself. Because this game will always be here for me, you know? If I don't log in for 2 days, it'll still be there on day 3. And that's kind of the slow path that I'm taking.
Yeah.
I love this game. And I'll say it again. I'm going to sandwich this with, I love RuneScape. It's my hobby. It's what I love doing. But yeah, just taking it easy in 2022. And then we'll see what 2023 has.
Slow scape,
I'll be
best
maxed.
scape, baby.
Slow scape, best scape.
2023 is going to be a wild year for me. I feel like with RuneScape, You know, if the servers don't like shut down and I don't like stop playing the game, which let's be honest, at this point, I'm not going to stop playing the game.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to have to max in 2023? Like, is that the next logical step for my account? Is
I
just
mean,
to max? Because
maybe.
like, by the time 2023 comes around, I'm pushing Master Combat Diaries. Maybe I'm good at hard mode Tob. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
just good at normal Tob. Uh, maybe I can do solo raids. Like maybe I'll have multiple Inferno KC, but I swear to God, I'll have one. You know, is that going to be the next step in 23? It's just get
Either that or 2200 total, base 90s or something, getting that's the road to.
to say that unfortunately, once you get into that level of like I'm gonna get 2200 total, which I have set for myself this year with mainly buyable skills.
Oh, you went 2200 this year?
I have a lot of. I'm not on my main right now, but I have a lot of buyables. I think I have cooking, herb lore, fire making, construction, crafting, all of them. Everything you can buy, I can
Yeah,
get a 99 in.
it's true.
So like
Farming,
yeah,
cooking,
dude,
smithing,
farming. I'm pushing farming.
fletching,
I buy a
crafting.
shitload of. I think I have like 100 palm saplings. I should do a fruit tree run. I'm not gonna do a fruit tree run because that takes way too much effort to do while recording. Because I'm bad at fruit tree runs. Yes, I am bad at farm runs. It's anyways. Um, yeah, I have a lot of buyable skills,
Uh-huh.
and I have a lot of potential to get to a closer level there. I also have attack and strength to finish out as well to get 99 there, so that's some free levels. And then capping off the diary cape with like thieving and agility and all that. So
You're very close to the diary cape.
yeah, capping off the diary cape, getting 99 in my buyables, and getting max combat, I should be pretty close to 2200 total. That's why I'm set. I'm 2060 right now on my main.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I did the math and I'll need something like 50 or something more levels by the time I'm done, which kind of sucks. And I think once I get to like 2150, I'm going to start to do the like, maybe I'll go base 85s, base 90s, something like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I also imagine a skill like Hunter is not going to be that slow to level up, you know, because I like doing gins in the wilderness and I like the idea of doing herbivore because League's herbivore is fun, but you know.
Yeah, I'm just noticing Hunter is your lowest skill right now.
Hunter is 78. Hunter is disgustingly low because Hunter has no purpose for main accounts after, what is it, 69, I think?
Some sort of diary or quest,
Yeah,
right?
it's the hard wilderness diary, the black salamander, I think. It's 69 Hunter, and that's the last time you need a Hunter level for anything as a main account. I say as a main account because you can buy chins, you can buy herbs, you can, you know, buy bird's nest or just buy brews. Like you don't need the herb lore supplies.
Yeah.
Hunter is a bit of a different animal with an Iron Man because Hunter gives really good access to supplies. It gives seeds. It gives implings, it gives herbs from herbivore. You can do drift net fishing, get some variety of fish that way. Not that drift net fishing, funny enough, is actually super not good for Iron Men because making drift nets sucks.
Yeah. And I mean, it's easy for main accounts because just buy them, but they're
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, because
almost-
they're
I
they're
almost-
hard to make.
I almost banked 99 hunter and fishing with drift nets, and I'm like, this is not fun and engaging content, and I'm actually really bored. So I decided to just sell them back and not do it.
Yeah, bro, you need jute fiber, which like who grows jute fiber? Like it's a level 13 farming thing. Like it's not hard to grow, but who does that? Like I'm genuinely curious if the hop patches are part of your farm run or part of your pet run or whatever they are. Please sound off in the comments how the hell you efficiently do that or inefficiently do that, because herbs, allotments, flowers, trees, fruit trees, I get it. I've literally never heard of anyone doing fiber or whatever they are, hop patches.
I've never once planted a hops patch. I think I had to do it for a diary.
Yeah, it's just like I think it's a diary step for
Yeah.
Candorin. I think it's like a Candorin medium step.
But I mean, other
that's
than
it.
that,
yeah.
it's just birdhouse seeds. It's really what you use them for, right?
Oh yeah, no,
think
I
those
have
are-
thousands of jute seeds in my bank, and every single one of them has gone into a birdhouse. Even on leagues, the jute seeds that I have thieved from master farmers have gone into birdhouses. So
Not in the ground, in the birds' bellies.
yup.
And then they
Then the birds' bellies end up on the ground because I don't pick up the
Don't
raw
pick up-
birds.
That QOL where they just like auto drop to the ground is kind of nice because who picks them up? No, I don't think anybody picks them up.
I mean, I would imagine they heal like what? It's 2 HP,
3?
something like
Yeah.
that.
If you're at the point in your account where you're doing birdhouse runs, I don't think you need birds.
Yeah,
Raw bird.
roast bird meat heals 6 HP. And yeah,
It's
that's
better than I thought.
that's it. Yeah, it's I mean, cool. Although fun fact, you can only cook it with an iron spit. This is kind of stupid. You can only cook it on an iron spit over a campfire. And
On Fossil Island.
no, but you don't get 100% cook rate. It's a level 11 unlock.
What?
You can cook bird at level 11 with an iron skewer over a fire, and you don't hit 100% until level 99.
No way.
There is still, you have a 99.22% chance of success at 98 cooking. I mean, at level 11, you have a 64% chance. So it's not like thieving elves where, like, you're just going to fail always. I mean, why is that like that? What is the
what
scaling
dev
for
coded
cooking
that?
chance there? Like, sharks and karambwans, I get. Manta rays, I get. Roast bird meat? Like,
Stupid.
bro, why does that need a...
Stupid.
That's got to go on RuneScape trivia on one of our next
Yes.
trivia nights. What level do you need to have a 100% cook chance for roast bird meat? Nobody's going to guess 99. Because
Right.
who would guess 99? If I went and cooked one of those now on my main account, I'd be so surprised if I burned it. But whatever.
I mean, that's how I'm going to get 200 mil cooking. It's just go pick up all the raw birds that people dropped and run around and make a campfire and skew them.
Oh yeah, for sure. They give you 11 cooking XP. No, they give you 62 cooking XP. So
Oh, that's better.
oh hell yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
That's 6 times better almost, and it's I don't even want to do
That
that math, but
That's almost 3 times less you get from a karambwan.
oh hell yeah.
It's 3 million birds. I can do that.
So yeah, so like we were saying, drift net fishing is hard for Iron Men. That's how we got here. But
Just bring it back.
speaking of cooking XP, I was telling
Yeah,
Michael
yeah,
this
yeah.
earlier, and you had a very interesting point, which kind of threw me for a loop when I told you. I went from, I think, 80 cooking to 97 cooking in leagues at the Myths Guild. I was pushing like 18, 19 million experience an hour. Just with the sharks and cromb I had caught with like Greedy Gatherer. And I'm like, Michael, that's hype. You want to come play leagues? He's like, no, I don't. What was your take there, Michael?
I think I said something like, I don't want to bastardize my favorite skill like that or something. Because it's just unnatural. It's unnatural to get 18 million cooking XP an hour. And it's just going to warp my thought process when I have to sit and cook 900,000 sharks to get 200 mil cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll do my anglers. I don't know. I still haven't priced it out, but it's going to be one of those things where if I get 25 million, I think somebody said it in the league's VC. They're like, I'm getting 25 million cooking XP per hour. It's like, okay, so you're telling me, what is that? 12 hours?
Yeah.
Math. 12
8
hours to
hours.
get 200 mil cooking.
It's 8
Yeah.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah, 8 hours to get 200 mil, and I'm gonna sit there for
A year?
6 to 8 months, maybe a year doing it. No. Not gonna
It's
happen.
you got to remember, like we're cooking full inventories of sharks. Like so right now in leagues, I'm sitting at the mining guild, and we all have the rock solid fragment pretty maxed out here. Like we're all taking, you know how they have the 3 iron spots that people use to power mine.
Mm-hmm.
All 6 of those rocks in the mining guild, and then even the double mining spot, they're all one rock is being taken by one person. And we're all just repeatedly mining it because the node isn't depleting for us.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of like, it feels like Melvor Idol, dude. It's ridiculous. And I'm auto smithing them. So I got like 1,500 steel bars just from the 20 minutes we've been recording.
Yeah.
So like Leagues is cracked. It's a really good time still. And that's pretty much been my week. I was up till 5 a.m. yesterday playing Leagues. I finally have gotten into some bossing. I finally have gotten into Slayer. I got my tier 6 relic. I can choose my own task. I'm finally doing combat. I'm 1 Slayer level away from being able to boost for an Abyssal Whip. Thank God, because I'm sick of using the Dragon Scimitar everywhere. But
so we have 30 days. I think on the day of recording, we have 30 days left in Leagues.
32.
32. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
by the time this comes out, we have less than a month.
Oh, no. I might. No, I'm not even going to say I might. There's a chance. Even if it's a small chance, I'll still log into Leagues before the end, because I've said it multiple times. I've either said it to myself or I've said it to other people, but I kind of want the Trailblazer toolkit on my group Iron Man, so that when I get like a dragon pickaxe or a harpoon or something, like I'll have the Trailblazer toolkit. I just don't remember how much it cost, so that I can plan out how many points I need, because I think they were 2,000 points each, if I'm not mistaken, or they were 6,000 points.
Trailblazer,
but that doesn't
tool
sound right,
ornament
because
kit.
6,000 points was a lot. I think it's 2,000.
They are 1,500 points from from the League's reward shop. So to get all 3, you'd need 4,500 points, which, I mean, that'll put you at like your 5th relic, your 6th, or your 4th or 5th relic. So like,
yeah,
I mean,
at that point, I might be having fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at that point, you genuinely might be enjoying yourself. Oh, and we got a genie in Leagues. That's free crafting XP, baby. Because holy shit, Iron Man mode is so hard. Michael,
yes,
all the Iron Men are gonna laugh at me. Did you know that when you mine sand, there's a hopper you have to put it in?
Mm-hmm.
And did you know that that swindling fuck not only makes you bring him empty buckets, but then makes you pay him to get those buckets of sand back? Did you know that I spent 65K on 1,500 buckets of sand after 40 minutes of trying to figure out how it worked?
You're a better man for it, though.
I fucking hate Iron Man mode. I am sorry. I can't do it. I'm gathering triple resources and sending them straight to my bank. Having to just do that normally, forever.
Yeah. Well, that's why
I'm good. I
think that's that's a big reason why I think that they will never really take away skilling supplies from boss loot tables. I don't think it's going to happen. For that reason.
Unfortunately, you are right, because spoiled mains like me would be pissed if Molten Glass shot up to 2K a piece, because only Iron Men were making buckets of sand.
Right.
That said, if it was profitable, somebody would probably bought it, which, it's a little sus, but you know.
Yeah. Or you could just use super glass, make to 99 magic like I did, and end up with...
Doesn't that
like
cost money?
15 million... No, it was... I mean, I did it to get my crafting XP too.
No, but doesn't it like cost money to cast the spell? Or am I thinking of plank make?
Oh no, that's plank make.
Oh yeah.
Super glass make, you just need the ingredients in your inventory and then cast the spell. It costs runes, but no, you don't need money. They should have made plank make free. I don't know. I feel like that's a good quality
that
of
would
life.
have tanked the price of planks.
Well, isn't the spell to where like you're literally one log at a time turning it into planks, or is it 5 at a time?
I think it's one at a time, but I mean, like, still, runes are a lot cheaper
Who are
than
you?
mahogany planks.
Who are you paying, though? Like, who gets that money?
What do you
You're
mean?
the one casting the spell. The spell is turning it into a plank. Who are you paying?
Well, it's to balance it because the only other way prior to, I think, Dream Mentor was to buy them from a sawmill at
I know,
2,500 GP apiece.
but that makes sense, right? Because it's like their job. I'm just saying, if okay, here's a real world example. You go to a coffee shop and you pay somebody to make you a cup of coffee. You pay Starbucks for your latte. But at home, if you have the ingredients, it's still like it doesn't cost you to make that cup of coffee at home. It costs you in supplies. You had to get the coffee and the water and whatever. Like you're not still giving Starbucks $6 for your latte and still making it at home.
I tried to think of a counterpoint, and I'm genuinely not sure if I just can't think of one or if it's just not applicable. You might have this one on me, Michael, because I still think it should cost money.
But you're making one plank at a time, whereas if you go to the lumber yard, you're getting a whole inventory like instantly.
I mean,
So
you're
yes,
still
it's
paying
going to
per
be
plank.
faster. Do what?
You're paying per plank, though.
Yeah,
I think you pay less money, but it's counterbalanced in the price of runes.
Yeah. We're arguing a point that doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
Shadow said Michael is right, but planks would be worth nothing at that point.
exactly.
I don't know. I guess yes. The price of planks would go down because then you would have people just sit at the GE and make their planks. But you could argue that they could wire it or code it to where a plank make plank is untradeable. I don't know, and then you don't have to pay. It's like a special plank that you can use only for you.
I mean, that actually wouldn't be a bad shout. It'd be a pain in the dick. And I feel like you also should lock it behind like 98 magic, but you have to be wearing the magic cape because fuck you. And then Dream Mentor anyway. If you're making planks for free, I think this is awkwardly transitioning into our main title content, kind of, but I also kind of wanted to address leagues, so we're kind of like we're jumping the gun a little bit. Yeah, leagues, man, what a time. Remember, this show has a fatal flaw.
Does it?
This show's fatal flaw is our recording date. So yes. We recorded last week's episode on Sunday night after fencing practice and after work and all that. But literally, I think the morning after we recorded, they released a news post that was like, hey, not only are we nerfing fragments, we're also cutting the price of renown points. So everyone got the big Sage's Renown stimmy that came through on Wednesday. We also said we're talking about leagues because there's no content in the main game. You'll never guess what happened. The next morning, they released a poll blog about an update to fucking Runecrafting. You know how juicy that would have been in that episode? So, of course, we're going to talk about it late. So now it's already been over a week. That's our show's fatal flaw. Whatever news post came out this Monday, we're not going to talk about it. And it could be real spicy, but we don't know.
Are news post days on Monday?
Sometimes they're Monday, sometimes they're Tuesday. Sometimes they like edit it throughout the week.
Can we not get Jagex to like line up their schedules with ours?
Exactly. Like, I don't see, it doesn't seem like that big of an ask, Jagex, honestly.
Right. Just like release it Saturday so we can talk about it on Sunday so we can release it on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, come on now, folks.
Well, okay. To be fair for us, last week's episode was kind of relevant a little bit because with that update, and we'll get into this. This will be a juicy little transition. So with last week's topic, unpopular opinions, we talked about runecrafting. We talked about how runecrafting, agility, mining, all of those slow skills are just not balanced for current times. We talked about how they're not balanced. There's not a fun way to train it. we talked about all that kind of stuff. And then they talk about Guardians of the Rift, and the conversation that comes up throughout the community on Reddit, on Twitter, is runecrafting should be buffed. I'm like, so I'm not the only one. So we kind of hit the nail on the head, but we hit the wrong nail, and then somehow the hammer ricocheted and hit the right nail a little bit.
We swung at the wrong nail.
Yeah.
And we hit the right nail, and we sounded really smart. I really like last week's episode. I don't know if we sounded smart, but I really like last week's episode. It's one of the few that I edited and then liked it so much that I just listened to it again.
Oh,
is it narcissistic? Probably, but like, I don't know. I like the content. So, so I did want to address that by the time the episode comes out, sometimes we're like really well aware that we're just like late with content or we're too early, because like that could have aided so well in our conversations.
Oh yeah.
Of what does skilling in 2022 look like? What does quality of lifescape look like? The J mods on the modcast actually had really interesting points that like, is it worth it if it's not fun? And that could be an entire main title content episode in and of itself. Like, is RuneScape actually fun?
Oof.
It's a question that, you know, philosophers to this day still have not been able to answer. Several maxed accounts, they don't know. I think that we could save that for another episode, because overall, yes, but why? And that's the problem.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's the whole can of worms that we're going to, as I say at work, we're going to push that off to the next session. We're going to put that on the shelf and remember it and take it down when the time is right, you know?
Mm-hmm. Once we have more to unpack, more to, after we marinate on that, that loaded, gut-wrenching question that I think everybody, including myself, has avoided asking themselves. Because if you ask me, is Minecraft fun? Yes. Is Halo fun? Is Halo with the boys fun? Yes.
Halo by yourself is fun.
Yeah, Halo campaign. Is RuneScape fun? Ooh, don't want to answer that one. I really don't, because I might not like the answer.
Yeah,
and that's scary.
Like I said, we can get into it. We don't need to delve into the potential traumatic triggers of old school RuneScape this week. This week, we're going to talk about another traumatic triggering thing in old school RuneScape, runecrafting.
Oof. And the fact that they call it Runecraft also kind of bugs me.
Yeah, that's weird. I feel like I've known it's been called Runecraft, but it's like imagine it's just called Cook. I must go to Catherby and level my fish. It
is weird.
Everything else is a verb. Other than construction and hunter. Construction, hunter, slayer, any of the combats. You know, a lot of them have that action, that ing on the end of it. Thieving, crafting, fire making, runecraft. I don't know. I don't like it very much.
It's one of those things, like, nobody calls it runecraft. Everybody calls it runecrafting, but it's just like we ignore the official term. I don't think I've ever called it Runecraft.
Maybe it's an English thing, honestly.
Oh, it could be.
Maybe it's just like how they pronounce. Not how they pronounce, like just how the English, if that makes sense. British English, I think it's called, uses turns of phrase as opposed to American English. But
sound off in the comments. Not in the community section, but in the comments on YouTube. Maybe
are there comments on Spotify?
Chat. No, we don't have comments on Spotify. XP Waste chat in the TLNL Discord. If you're English,
come to Discord. I mean, I don't know why we didn't think of that in the first place. We have a whole Discord. Come to Discord. Hang out.
Let us know. Like, if you're English, is it a turn of phrase there? Is that the word you use? Turn of phrase?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Is it a turn of phrase to be called Runecraft instead of Runecrafting? But
or are other words like that? This again, we're teetering on cultural differences in language, which is a lot for XP Waste.
Yeah.
Just want to talk about RuneScape. It's a pretty beefy update. I was talking to Michael about it earlier. He's like, Oxie, what are you talking about this week? I think I said 8 different names for this update.
Yeah, you did.
And then just didn't hear what Michael was saying. I'm like, yeah, we're going to talk about Runespan. He's like, Guardians of the Rift. I'm like, oh, yeah, Guardians of Gillen or whatever. He's like, Guardians of the Rift. I'm like, Guardians of Runespan. Yeah, he's like, Oxy, Guardians of the fucking Rift. I'm like, what about a Rift? I don't know why. It just, nothing was, I wrote a paper today. Nothing was clicking.
It reminds me of that TikTok where they're like, it's under the sauce.
It's under the sauce.
It's under the sauce.
It's under the sauce. It's from Chicago. It's from the abyss. It's under the sauce.
It's under the sauce. What was your question?
What are your thoughts on the update? What have you done? I imagine you've read it. I watch the modcasts before I really read any of the blogs because I'm not good at reading for fun. So I like to listen to what the J mods have to say. But
my honest opinion is it's a good start to what could be a good update, if that makes sense. You guys know from last week, and if you listen to the last episode, if you haven't, go and listen to that one first, because I don't know, a lot of our thoughts will bleed into this episode potentially with the unpopular opinions about how the game has halted progression. So if you listen to last week's episode, we won't have to go into it as much in this one and get so ranty, but I just don't like that. Like, the TLDR of what's going through my head is I don't like that they're so hung up on lava runes being the meta. It's like, why base everything? Why base everything off of this tier 23, this level 23 skilling method that was never supposed to be what it is today? It's just, it was an unintended benefit, I guess, that they put the fire altar so close to a teleport and people found out, oh, I can maximize my runecrafting XP if I do this really obscure method from a very low level. But, you know, whenever you're talking about a new minigame, you can leave old methods behind. You can leave lava runes in the past and just make this the new meta. But they're scared to do that for some reason. They're scared to let go, and I don't know why.
That is strange you bring that up, because I was going to offer the kind of counterpoint of, from what they said, this is like a not very intense mini game. Like, this is meant to be, it's almost like an open world. From my very limited understanding from what they talked about on the modcast, was like, you kind of have to like battle abyssal creatures, and then the head Rift Guardian, whoever, the big honcho you're trying to protect, will tell you to go like bind special essence at different runecrafting altars. And they brought up the idea that like someone could just be crafting double natures for money, and suddenly 60 people spawn into the rift and make all these things, and they just teleport right back out. That sounds super cool to me, right?
Yeah.
So my counterpoint was going to be that to get the best XP rates at lava runes, you have to be sweating your ass off. I mean, like, tick perfect. People put screen markers on their screen. People like limit where they move their mouse. They position their cameras so perfectly. Not a lot of activities, even like 3-tick fishing, doesn't take that much work. And if you mess something up in lava runes, if you forget to cast magic imbue, if you forget to get another binding necklace, if you forget to get another ring of dueling, those XP rates are gone, baby.
Yeah.
It's like the sweatiest parts of construction, but with way more consequences. So like, okay, it's higher XP per hour. Until you brought up the fact of being able to let things go. And the first thing that popped into my head was, well, unfortunately, we can't make Temporos much XP per hour because we don't want it to be more XP than Fishing Trawler or something like that. Something along those same lines. They had the exact same state of mind with 3-tick barb fishing, though, when Temporos came out. I remember the big argument was that, like, Temporos' XP rates are going to be too good with a crystal whatever. Hollowed Sepulcher is going to be too good with whatever. I think, is Hollowed Sepulcher the fastest way to train agility?
Yeah.
Thank God.
But it's way more intense than just clicking around a roof, so duh.
Yeah, and so I think their argument is the more intense, the more XP it should offer. That argument falls apart with the Hollowed Sepulcher because
Yeah.
I've seen floor 5. That shit's nuts. Like there's like the final stretch of floor 5. There's the teleporting orbs, there's the arrows, there's fire, there's lightning, all on the same stretch. And it's like the length of the entire Sepulcher. And if you mess up one thing at the very end, it just teleports you way back to the beginning. Floor 5 is hard. And if you take too long to get through that, you can't loot the chest for the 50 mil drop like we talked about last week. Hollowed Sepulcher is hard, but Hollowed Sepulcher is fun and engaging.
Yeah.
I can understand the merit of satisfaction when talking about like, oh yeah, you know, I enjoy 3-tick fishing because I like getting into a rhythm and I like, you know, number go up, yay. Like that's fun for me. But I mean, is it really engaging? I think the argument of high intensity should be best XP really falls apart with the introduction of the Hollowed Sepulcher because the logic isn't that. The logic is actually, this is going to sound like a really whiny opinion, suffering for fast XP is best when other methods that are difficult in different ways exist or could exist for better XP rates.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. If the idea is to reward intensity, just make the minigame just make the minigame more intense. The fact that you have to sweat and grind for an unintended like skilling method, it just seems like lazy game development to me. Like it's a feature now because somebody figured it out. I mean, don't come at me in the comments, but I don't think that 3-tick and tick manipulation should be considered a feature. It's an unintended mechanic that was discovered in the game, but now it's the golden standard. It's the expectation. You mentioned Temporos. Well, they didn't want to devalue the 3-tick barb fishing XP rates. They could have. I don't think anybody wants to 3-tick barb fish. So why not just make Temporos the thing that is, like, why not just make Temporos the meta? And later on, you could actually develop things into the game that may be a little bit less XP, but are less intense. It just seems like we need a 2022 reset on some skills. And that could happen with Guardians of the Rift. But I think they're scared to do it.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here only for a little bit, right? If you just made Temporos straight up the best fishing XP from 35 to 99.
No, it would definitely scale.
Yeah, well, like I think Temporos is great, by the way. We're not shitting on Temporos. I actually really enjoy the minigame a lot. It scales beautifully. It's fun. It's engaging. You have to make decisions. It's punishing, but it's not too punishing to the point where, like, we talked about it in our extra episode that is out this week, by the way, if you're a Party Pete member or above. That was a plug by me. That felt weird. In any case,
Patreon.com/XP.
We talked about Temporos and how it's a really fun, engaging boss. It's also rewarding. Like, you get good fish. Main or iron. You just, a level 81, when you get to pull, like, manta rays and shit out, like, that's decent money for reward dips. You get planks. You get chests full of alkables and things like that. Like, Temporos and the Dragon Harpoon. Temporos is engaging and rewarding. And I think the logic behind it was, if we made Temporos 150k an hour at the peak of like 85 or whatever, for example, 81, no one's going to train anything else. And if you just keep pushing, like, this new update is going to outdo all the old methods and it's going to be better, no one's going to do anything anymore, you know? The only, like, look at fire making. They talked about this in the modcast that, like, Winter Todd effectively ruined fire making as it was. Granted,
just
it's fire making, right?
just
Nobody
rolled my
gives a
eyes.
shit. It's literally burning money. No, like I'm not talking in the sense
Yeah.
of like, oh, it devalued my, 70 billion miles of line fires. But fire making training as a whole completely evolved, turned on its head
Mhm.
when Winter Todd came out. How
Yeah.
many Iron Men do you see cutting logs and training with line fires to get the fire making requirements for a skill like My Arms Big Adventure? None of
I
them.
mean, no.
Rewards aside, we're going to take rewards out of the picture, right?
Yeah.
How many? I think because it's fire making and nobody cares, it was okay. They did talk about this on the modcast, and I thought it was a really interesting point that it was best that it was fire making because imagine if it was rune crafting
Mhm.
and now blood runes aren't a thing that people do. ZMI isn't a thing people do. Let's say it was a skill like wood cutting where no one cares about these new redwoods they put on Zaya or anything like that. There's
Yeah.
fire making needed it so desperately because there was literally only one way to train fire making the entire time, whereas all the other skills need diversity.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I agree. I mean, when you bring it up like that, when you're saying that every time they put on an update, the expectation might be this is the new method. This is the
yeah,
new best in slot. And then what do? Is you just have inflated and more inflated
it
XP
just keeps
rates
getting
and
worse
just
and
more and
worse.
more
Like
dead
there,
content.
there has to
Yeah.
be a ceiling somewhere. I think back when it first came out, fishing trawler was meant to be the Temporos to something like Karamblans. When it like first came out, right?
Yeah.
Fishing trawler was supposed to work because before Temporos, the only place to get manta rays outside of PVM was fishing trawler. Go
Wow.
on your skill sheet right now, go to fishing, and then scroll all the way to, I think is it big net rod? Where is it? Is it other? Yeah, go to the other tab,
Hmm.
81. It says trawler and Temporos. Prior to
Wow.
March of 21, trawler was the only place to get mantas. So I think back then the idea still stood of rewards versus XP, which is a battle that's always going to persist.
Hmm.
But you're right. At what point do we leave the level 23 methods behind finally? You know?
Yeah. It should be viable for the skill progression. So the way that I think most other skills work is like you have a set path. If you go on the wiki, or if you just search on YouTube, like 1 to 99, whatever, most people have it laid out to where 1 to 10, 10 to 15. What you have a progression of your skills. You go on your RuneScape, or you go on your Runecraft 1 to 99. It says do a quest till 23. Do quest until 23. 23 to 99. Do lavas. Uh,
That
it- it-
sucks. That's so
excuse
bad,
me?
dude.
You want to do
Like
13 million XP on one method that's not fun and very click intensive and is not well, okay, going back to a point earlier, rewarding the intensity, right? So you mentioned construction, I think was the counterpoint to like something that's pretty intense.
but also not
Construction is
punishing.
very rewarding. Oh, it's not punishing. Yeah.
Construct like if you mess up a magic imbue, you've tanked your XP for a few minutes there.
Yeah.
At construction, if you miss a tick, like, okay, cool, your butler's leaving anyway. What are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah. That's true. But it's something like it's just balancing. I don't know. It still blows my mind that some skills in this game are very intense and you can get a million XP per hour. And then there's skills like runecrafting or agility, which are also equally as intense. But it caps out at maybe 100K if you're
Mhm.
good. Not runecraft. I think runecraft, like sweat method, is like 80K an hour or something. Still not great. But Guardians of the Rift, all of that aside, I think that Guardians of the Rift will be fun. and I will definitely do it even at 99 Runecrafting.
I'm excited. It's sounding like a good time. It seems like this is going to be pretty good money. They've kind of put it in this chart here that it's going to be the same level of money as Blood Runes, which is going to be so good because you're not just going to be getting Blood Runes, I would imagine. Like,
Yeah.
as a main who's poor and also very cheap, I hate buying runes, especially since I think I went to 77. It was that stint where we were both rune crafting on the show. I went from 77 to 86 at Bloods. I have not bought a blood rune in like 8 months, it feels like. And it's been great.
Yeah.
You know? But death runes for the Inferno are pricey. Astral runes for things like Venge and Potshare, soul runes for the Inferno, they add up. You know? And I think a method that's going to make me 500k an hour in runes that isn't just bloods is going to balance out to be pretty nice GP per hour wise. And I like a good mini game. My issue personally with mini games, much like with pretty much every repeatable content in this game, I get bored kind of quick of things. You skill hop, I boss hop.
Oh.
I can't sit at Vorkath for 8 hours. Vorkath is some of the most fun content in the game. Melee Vorkath with that Wooks walk. Ooh, it's so fun. I can do maybe 20 kills in a day, and that's it. Like, I can't just push this grind over and over again. And I think if after an hour or two, I come out of there with 2,000 death runes, that's pretty good for me. How much is a death rune? Death runes are 190. What's 190 times 2k? It's 360k. Obviously, it's not going to be 2k worth of death runes, right? That's absurd. That would be way too much. But the idea that we're going to be getting a variety of runes that hopefully, right? Hopefully this does take some inspiration from Temporos and Fishing Trawler, in that once you are a certain rune crafting level, you stop getting lower level runes.
That would be nice.
I don't want to have 86 rune crafting and get fucking body runes from this mini game. I'm really hoping that they take the low tier runes out as it scales.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I cannot literally tell you the last time I ever used a body rune. Ever.
I don't think, do people use body runes?
I think they're like low level curse spells.
They're high level curse spells. No, they're not. Soul runes are high level curse spells. Why are these in the game?
They're low level curse spells. That's like, you can do a silly method to where you do like curse alking or something, stun alk, and I think you use body runes at that point. But the last time I would have done that is in RuneScape 2, and I was doing it on the skeletons in the basement of the Mages Guild. But do you want to hear my opinion?
Yeah, I would
the
love
money
to hear.
versus XP.
While I scroll for where body runes are applicable outside literally 3 spells on the standard spell book, I would love to hear your opinion.
On the topic of Guardians of the Rift being good money and good XP, personally, I would sacrifice the money aspect to buff the XP. Give me more XP, but make it to where you don't need to make money if you're making good XP. If they balance it in such a way that, okay, maybe you're making 100k XP per hour, but you're not making any money. That's balance to me, because there's not a ton of methods for skilling training that you make really good XP per hour and you make a lot of money. Volcano is it comes to mind as a balanced.
Volcano is
making
dog
money,
shit XP per hour,
but
dude.
it's not great. It's not a skilling method. So you're making great money, but you're not making good XP. I'm hoping that they look into that and realize that if you want to make money during rune crafting, go craft blood runes. It's very AFK. You're not going to make great XP, but you're making the money. And maybe even then, just buff those XP rates a little bit. because they're really low. To be making 35K an hour being tick perfect at a level 77 method doesn't make a ton of sense to me. The fact that at 90 runecrafting, I was only making like 40, 45K, maybe 50K an hour, it just doesn't make any sense.
If you want to talk about a runecrafting method that gives like really good XP per hour, but almost no money per hour, it's lava runes.
I know.
No, Michael, you're asking for lava runes without having to do lavas. You're asking for 3-tick fishing without having to 3-tick fish. I get it. I hate the fact that you look over and you're like, oh, cool, I'm recording a podcast and getting 21K runecrafting experience an hour. Awesome. That sucks when it says 470K till the next level. You're like, only 12 more hours to go, guys. I'm not a fan of that, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, if it doesn't reward any money, it's gonna be stupid or hard. Lavas is hard and stupid, if you ask me, and it gives really good XP. I don't know. I think
the problem is though, these methods that give good XP but don't give money were never to be intended as such. I mentioned earlier, it's like unintended ways of training that just kind of were discovered within the community, which I'm not opposed to. I love that this game can be what you make it. I love that this game has the ability for people to discover things about it. It's fun. But the flip side of that is like the ones that are the meta were never really, like, I don't think they were designed that way, but they could design a meta. They could have a good player experience in mind when thinking about Guardians of the Rift. I would rather see it one way or the other. I would rather see it be good money or good XP, but not both. And I don't know, that just seems kind of like a very closed-minded. Now I'm hearing myself say that because why can't it be both? But that would be the balancing that I've been talking about of like, if you do that, if Guardians of the Rift comes into the game, which right now, as we're recording this, I don't think it's even supposed to be in the game until like mid-March. So we've got a long time.
Assuming everything passes the polls.
Yes. So mid-March, we're talking a month and a half, almost 2 months, potentially, with timelines and pushbacks and things like that. But 2 months from now, this conversation could be completely different. But what was I saying? Balancing?
Yeah, balancing. It should either be good money or good XP, which I almost always agree with, other than once you get to like the highest possible level content. Hydra could be better Slayer XP per hour. That's not how Slayer works, because Slayer is multiplicative of the boss's HP. So I think the monster's XP is the amount of experience you get per kill. So that's why Hydra is like 1200 a kill, right? Because it has 1200 HP, something like that. I think Hydra could be a little bit faster just because of the whatever, because it's tier 95. I also don't necessarily know if a tier 95 being 100K an hour and 20 mil per task is a great idea. My issue with that logic when it applies to runecrafting is that it already exists. It's either fast XP with lavas or it's real good money with bloods. You meet in the middle with ZMI. For me, this is what is replacing ZMI.
Yeah.
This is not meant to replace lavas or bloods. This is meant to update ZMI, where you make some money because you don't really, somebody brought it up earlier, you don't really lose runes at ZMI. Other than like the 20 elemental runes, like, yeah, the teleports, the NPC contact, but like you make pretty much everything except for wrath runes there, right? You make bloods, you make natures, you make souls, you make death.
You do. Yeah.
So I think almost everything that's in the abyss and bloods gets made.
It costs you 80 GP to bank.
Yeah. So like you don't lose anything. So you're profiting. and you're getting okay XP per hour, right? It kind of caps out at a certain point.
Yeah.
You can speed it up a little bit if you know, take on the follow train or what have you, but this is better money and better XP at the higher end, you know, than ZMI, which I think is a really good balancing point. Also, it's quest locked. And did you look at the quest rewards yet?
For the Guardians of the Rift?
There is a quest called Temple of the Eye that is going to be the new prerequisite to play this game. So it's going to be double quest locked behind Enter the Abyss and Temple of the Eye.
Okay.
Enter the Abyss can be done at level 1 runecrafting and will take you from 1 to 9. You need level 10 runecrafting to play, which means you can earn 100 runecrafting XP just doing diary requirements. Make some water runes, make some earth runes for your diaries. You'll be at level 10. This quest gives 5,000 runecrafting XP, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Let's put that in a calculator here. Let's say I'm level 1 and I go from 1 to 6,000 XP. That's 1 to 22 for 2 quests. You toss the Eyes of Gluffrey in there. That also gives some rune crafting XP. You're like 1 to 26, 1 to 30 rune crafting. Doing like the bare minimum. That's already cosmics right there. Like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know?
And you haven't even done the minigame.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't even done Guardians of the Rift.
Exactly.
At that point.
It's so funny that we're talking about this, and I have a feeling you and I have almost no idea how this minigame is going to work. I get the suspicion that from what we've read and what we've heard on the modcast, we're super vague about what this game's going to be. I'm anticipating it being fun.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it's like a phase wave-based fight off the abyssal creatures thing.
Yep.
But
don't zero combat involved, which is interesting.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I hate one of my biggest gripes with Wintertodd is when I just get ramboed by the cold of the Wintertodd seeps into your bones. When that's my whole chat box, Michael can attest. I want to throw my monitor across the room. I hate taking damage at an activity like that.
Yeah.
I think
it's balanced because it's less. It's not. It's just a bad way of like making something to where you can't AFK. It made sense for them to do that in Temporos, where the wave crashes and you get what is it? You get punished by losing your items. They could have done something similar for Wintertodd, where if you get trampled by snow or something, you know, you lose half of your logs. But you don't lose health. So I'm glad that they're moving in that direction where it's not HP locked content anymore, because that's just because
we definitely don't need another Wintertodd with that. Like we definitely don't need it. I'm sorry, we just don't.
No.
And then Temporos is really good because like you have time to react and you can AFK a lot of Temporos for good swaths, 30 seconds to a minute. But like if you AFK too hard, you're just gonna get killed. Wintertodd is just you AFK too hard, you're not gonna get killed. I go to Wintertodd with an HP cape, a regen bracelet, Sarah brews, and house tabs, and I just telly back every single game.
Yeah,
I restore my shit and I go right back. I'm never gonna die at Wintertodd from the cold of the toad seeps into your bones. That's not gonna kill me. I'm just gonna lose XP. Like if I'm AFKing too hard, I don't know. I don't like Wintertodd that much. I think that's just what it is. I don't like Wintertodd that much.
Going back to our point earlier about having things be like good money and good XP, I forgot that Sepulchre, the Hall of Sepulchre, is somewhat good money because of the ring and like reward chests. So
Sepulchre can be some life-changing money.
They did it.
Like,
there's ways to balance it, and they did with the Sepulchre.
Jagex, if you're listening, if there are any JMods out there or former JMods who worked on this content, the Hallowed Sepulchre is the gold standard for what new old school RuneScape skilling content should be.
Yeah.
If you're making new content and you think to yourself, what should we base this off of? Hollowed Sepulcher is literally perfect. The best XP is only achieved through difficult but masterable content, and the best GP is only obtained through difficult but masterable content. Everything below that threshold, below that 5th floor threshold of difficulty and skill requirement, is good and will get you what you want. Strange old lockpicks are a cheeky 80k every time you get one. That's more money than you make doing normal agility. So, like, shit, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Plus, if you're like me and save them for barrows, that just gives you more money at barrows, right? Like, that's a good item. That's a good reward. Popping open the rune plate bodies from Sepulcher, ooh, good shit right there. But it gets progressively more difficult, and it scales every 10 levels. Sepulcher is the gold standard. Keep that up if that's what you're hoping for future content.
Yeah. I just want stuff in the game. I want new updates in the game that don't require like tick manipulation and unintended mechanics. Like the Sepulcher doesn't require any like pestle and mortar or stalling, or it's just hard, and it's dodging and it's pathing and it's mechanics that are built into the game. So I don't know. I sound like a broken record. I feel I'm a what is it? A bitter old I'm a bitter old RuneScape player. I'm a bitter old scaper.
Let's cap this section off and talk about the rewards by, did you see that meme that was floating around Reddit? And it was the trolley meme where like you have to divert the trolley and it either runs over one person or 5 people.
Yeah.
Somebody remade the trolley meme, but behind the trolley was a bunch of people that were already dead. And it was like, it's unfair to the people who have already died if I save these other people from the trolley. And that's kind of the logic of changing the XP rates. I knew if you hadn't seen that, you're going to make that exact face.
That's hilarious.
It was satire to point out that, like, it's stupid. But in any case,
yeah.
Guardians of the Rift has some pretty bitchin' rewards. What do you want to talk about first? I feel, for me, the thing that pops out the most is the pet. I love a good pet.
So they came back and updated that. I don't know if you saw the update.
I did, yes.
Okay, so they may not have a pet.
There is a pet.
And they may.
There is a pet. The Guardians of the Rift pet is going to be an abyssal pet, which leads me to believe, well, nothing's confirmed because we still have to pull all this shit.
But that's what they want to pull?
Well, I think one of the poll questions is, should we introduce a new abyssal-themed pet obtainable from the rewards rift in the Guardians of the Rift minigame? They're also talking about adding a, unsurprisingly, Hollowed Sepulcher-inspired Dark Acorn Transmog for the Rift Guardian.
Yeah, which I would love.
That said, as someone who likes pets, why not give us both? And that's exactly what they're doing. There's 2 poll questions. Should we add a transmog to the existing Rune Guardian pet for a Great Guardian version, purchasable via the Guardians of the Rift reward shop for Abyssal Pearls? I think this is not for the Rift Guardian. For the existing Rune Guardian pet. It is for the Rift Guardian. I don't know why they would call it the Rune Guardian pet in the blog. That's confusing. But yeah, they're giving us a new pet, potentially, if it passes, which will be delightful. I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm going to imagine it's going to look like any one of those creatures from the Abyss.
Yeah.
That when you go through the Abyss, you have all those Abyssal walkers and crawlers and things like that. I hope it's not just like a cut and copy of those. And I hope the new NPCs they add look cool enough to get it.
Like the new NPCs for the Guardians of the Rift minigame?
Yeah. This actually brought up a really interesting conversation on Twitter and on the modcast of like, what about something like the Soul Wars pet pissed people off, but the Temporos pet didn't? Like, why do minigame pets upset people?
Oh.
But other activities that are, and I say this with the utmost respect, basically just minigames at this point. Like Zalcano, Temporos, Wintertod, they're bosses, but they're minigames. Like,
yeah, I don't think Soul Wars needed a pet. I love the pet, and I will grind it out one day.
But why not?
It's sick.
But why not?
it sets a precedence that when you add a pet for every new activity, it sets that precedent that, oh, we're adding this new something, and here's the pet for it. It's just going to be down the line 3 years from now, we're at 150 pets and everything has a pet.
Pets add replayability and motivation to do the content. For those of you not in TNL, we actually just held our first, technically, one of our first bossing events that we've had in a while. Good friend of the podcast, Mima, one of our fans for a long time, held a Sarachnis event over the weekend. Simple, 72-hour. Mima's got that money because he's a real spoon at God Wars. So he offered bounties for things. He has hunted the Sarachnis pet forever. So he was like, I hate the spider. I'm going to do a whole event and give everyone money for getting these drops. Cudgels, jars, anything like that. I'll give them a certain amount of money. And if you get the pet, I'll give you 10 mil. Only one person got the pet that weekend. Guess who it was? It was Mima. Congratulations, Mima, on finally getting the pet. The amount of people who participated in that event who have no business at Sarachnis, and I don't mean on the low end. I mean people, you got your kitted scythe and your blood fury because you want a spider pet? Like, what are you doing at Sarachnis, my guy? You know? It's stuff like that, that the pet adds a sense of replayability so that not everything immediately becomes dead content. I would never do Sarachnis again if it was not for the pet.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about the other day in a Discord call I was in, that like if you're on a bingo team and you have a certain skill set, some tiles aren't for you, right? If you have 95 Slayer, you can do Theater of Blood, you have an Infernal Cape, you can do Solo Chambers. The Wintertodt tile is not for you. Don't do the Wintertodt tile. That's for somebody else, right?
Have some class, man.
Conversely, if you have base 75 stats, don't try the Solo Chambers tile. That tile is not for you. The idea that like people never have to go back to these lower level bosses or these mini games ever, right? Soul Wars is a nice PvP outlet for people, and people play it because it has the pet. Castle Wars doesn't have a pet. Castle Wars has one purpose, two purposes: nostalgia and an elite diary requirement.
Elite diary?
Yep, cast Ice Barrage on another player in Castle Wars.
Oh,
Ardoyan Elite Diary.
My brain went to Elite Combat Diary.
Nope, there are no combat tasks for
I
anything PvP, funny enough.
I know. But my brain heard Combat Diary, and I was like, wait, an Elite Diary? No, yeah, Elite Achievement Diary, yes.
So, yeah, nobody goes back. Fishing Trawler has an outfit attached to it. Pretty decent pet chance. If it didn't have an outfit, nobody would go back. Need I bring up the pinnacle of terrible, petless content that nobody does except the one time they literally have to?
Trouble Brewing.
Trouble fucking brewing. I just did that on Leagues the other day. I filled up 100 buckets of water with Jake and then sat there for 18 and a half minutes and made sure I didn't log out. And you want to know what the worst part was? I didn't even have the chance at a 1KC pet, right? Some things like the collection log aren't enough to bring people back because you can't show off your collection log to people, you know?
Yeah.
So I think pets are a good way to do that. Pets are lucky. Pets are fun. Pets add replayability, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've changed my mind, okay? You've changed my mind. Put a pet in it because what else do you have? You know? That's the simple answer.
A pretty sick-ass Runecrafting outfit. You see the Runecrafting outfit?
It does look good. It does look good.
Look at the hat. Look at the hat. It's a Rune Essence node. The hat is a Rune Essence node. It's got that little curl in the top.
Oh, that's adorable.
It's Rune. Oh, they brought it up on the podcast. I was so happy. I'm like, oh, that attention to detail. It's so good. And then, of course, you can recolor it for the main three gods somehow.
Yeah.
There's recolored versions. I don't know how you get them. They're obtainable via the rewards rift. The fact that you can not only get the good XP, I think this actually makes double runes or something like that. It gives you more runes, not XP.
Oh.
which is cool because like
This offers players increased yield in the number of runes they can craft. It's more focused on increasing the profit you can make as opposed to making it faster XP.
you're grinding 86 to 99. You're making that money at blood runes. Not only are you making money at blood runes, you're making extra money because you got your Karen diaries done, and you're making extra money because you got a blood essence from Nex, and now you're making extra money because you got this outfit, and you look hot as fuck because your outfit matches your imbued god cape, which you can put with other pieces of the relevant god swag to look awesome. This is, remember you talked about earlier that graceful is ugly and that people should run around in other things. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I don't know why this particular outfit looks so, I don't know why I'm hung up on the outfit being so cool, but
it's different. It's different than all the other cut and paste scaling outfits that they do where it just gives you the 2.5%. This is an interesting I mean, I would probably give up that extra 2.5% in other skilling outfits for some sort of unique ability that it gives you while you're doing that skill. So each piece of the set gives you a 10% chance to craft an additional runes, going up to 60% when all the pieces are worn. This also, I'm just reading off the news post here. It says that the hat has the unintended effect to like make you choose between a tiara and the hat. Well, they fixed that because you can add a tiara to the hat and have both and swap them out as you please. So it's just like, it's really well thought out and it looks cool. The problem is if you are crafting blood runes or soul runes, like run energy is a factor. So yes, you're crafting more, but you're probably crafting the same amount. Just
hold up.
Thinking about getting to the altar, like you're having to walk to the altar versus how many laps you can do if you had graceful.
So let's look at this here. Let's look at this outfit and try to pick apart the pieces because it says each piece has a 10% bonus chance to craft additional runes, going up to a 60% chance when all pieces are worn. If we look at this outfit, I would guess we have a hat, a top, a bottom, boots 4, the necklace
helm, chest, legs, and boots
5, helm, chest, legs, boots, necklace. Yep. Where's the 6th piece?
I don't think the necklace is part of it.
I would,
to be honest with you.
What is the necklace then?
So they said in one of the updates in this blog, they're like, players liked the necklace and we're wondering. It says, you like the necklace shown in the concept art to the runecrafting skilling outfit. You wanted to know more about it and whether it was something players can use. Their response is, the necklace shown in the concept art is for an NPC, but the team will certainly keep positive feedback in mind. So the necklace isn't part of it. It's just what the NPC is going to wear.
So is that implying that this outfit is going to be like any other prospector, lumberjack, whatever, a standard 4-piece outfit that gives, instead of a 2.5 XP boost, 60% chance to craft bonus runes? And does this bitch stack with diaries and things like blood essence?
Maybe.
The Runecraft skill outfit has the potential to alleviate problems that players experience while obtaining blood runes, at the very least for those who have already achieved level 77 or above. This won't solve the issue for players who don't have the required level for bloods, but blah, 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 can be tedious to obtain through shops. The new outfit would improve yield to runes, which can be very powerful when combined with access to the true blood altar. It does work with blood essence, which is sick. So that's something we should also talk about. The true blood altar. We've talked about blood runes a lot. Do you know where that is, Michael?
It's in Mauritania.
Yeah. So if you don't know where it is, during Sins of the Father, you go down into the Mire Ditch Labs, notorious for some of the fastest Slayer XP in the game with the cannonable bloodvelds. And in there, they have the true blood altar at the very end. And apparently you're supposed to be able to access it with this new update that gives, I don't know if it's less XP, but like hella more runes than what you get in Zaya, which is pretty good. Because how many runes do you earn per pop at Zaya, Michael?
It's like 400 something
per like like per double inventory with the diary, it's like 400.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like 400 something. I mean, I only did a couple hundred hours of it. You'd think I would remember.
I was gonna say that's why I asked you, my guy.
Yeah, I don't remember actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things. They have a ring in here as well. I'm kind of breezing over some of them now, because we're already at like the hour and a half mark. There's a ring that will allow you to teleport by various altars for
Yeah.
elemental altars, which
Yeah.
doesn't seem particularly useful.
No, it will be because it makes the fire it makes the fire altar closer. Like it teleports you closer to the fire altar.
So, in
So you don't
essence,
need the
this
ring of
gives
dueling.
good XP, good rewards, and a good outlet for people bitching about lava runes not being or being devalued. A way to get faster XP with lava runes because you don't have to switch out your dueling rings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what people would have wanted in the Eternal Ring of Dueling. They would have just wanted something to get to the fire altar quicker. Something that they talked about was, should they make this free to play? Because right now it's a pain in the butt to have to walk to any of these altars, because Rings of Dueling are not free to play.
Literally,
So
the only one that's like marginally accessible is the air altar, and I think that's because the Falador mid bank is closest to that.
yeah. So
Alcarid one's far away. Blumbridge is
If
far
you-
away.
in free to play, if you can get access to law runes, then technically you could then have a viable way to craft low level runes. Where right now the best XP in free to play for rune crafting is making tiaras. And
That's
correct me if I'm
crusty,
wrong,
bro.
but it's like 15k an hour.
Well,
And there's somebody going for 200
tiaras are
mil.
really good at members because what you can do is you can just buy a hell of a lot of. This is why mind talismans are so expensive. You buy mind talismans, and
And you use
the
altar.
Arceus teleport to get to the
Yeah.
mind altar. You bind them, and you just repeat the process. They're
Mm-hmm.
actually tiaras are a really good level 1 rune crafting training method, but they're expensive.
Yeah.
Doing that shit in free to play,
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Somebody made the point so that if this ring was to come into the game, it would somewhat drive up the price of law runes, because you have to charge this ring with law runes, which would be nice. But overall, I don't know. The rewards seem interesting.
They do. There's
there's-
some things we haven't covered, like the Colossal Pouch. The Abyssal Lantern does something. I don't.
I will say the Colossal Pouch would change, and this is from a Reddit post that I read. It would change the XP per hour at lavas to something like 90 or 100k an hour for Tick Perfect, because it's almost the same amount of runes technically as if you had all 4 pouches, but it's one pouch. So banking is faster. Unloading the pouches, making all the inventories, it's all just in those ticks. You're getting in your ticks quicker. So that coupled with the ring, it would make lavas a lot faster.
So does this imply that with the Abyssal Needle, the Colossal Pouch just combines all 4 of them? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you need small, medium, large, and giant, and you use this Abyssal Needle to create the new rune crafting pouch with all 4 of them. You stitch the existing pouches together, and it's one inventory slot that gives, because what is it, 3, 6, 9, 12? That combined together is what, 30, 38, right? Cumulative capacity. Oh, it's like 10 more. What? Hello? That doesn't make sense. 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. Oh my god, wow, it gives 10 additional runes. So this is pretty nice XP.
Yeah.
Cool. So, XP wasters, new folks. If you're one of those people who are diehard fans of lava rune crafting and don't want this to come into the game because it will somehow damage lavas, stop it. This'll make lavas better. You have absolutely no reason to vote no for this update. That's me using my content creator influence right there. New content, good. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, me too.
This should
Me
be
too.
fun.
Well, cool, guys. I think it's time we head to a break.
I think
And
it is, yeah.
Yeah. So, so we will see you after this. It may be a new commercial. Maybe not. I don't know. No, it's not gonna be a new. I don't
What the hell are you talking? What are you signing me up for, man? I don't even have anything scripted. What? What?
You'll find out when we do, okay?
Apparently you will. Okay, bye everyone.
Ahoy there, citizens of Gillinor. My name is Captain Murphy, and I'm on the hunt for seamen. I need the hardiest seamen around, the best in all of Gillinor. What am I gonna do with all these seamen, you ask? I'm gonna take them out on my world-famous fishing trawler. Here at Captain Murphy's fishing trawler, we're going out to sea for a juicy bounty that only the open ocean can provide us. The seas at Gillinor are perilous, so grab your rod with both hands and fill your mateys' holes with that sticky hot tar. Yarg. The journey across the open ocean will be long and hard, but incredibly rewarding. You'll be coming home with enough fish to fill your sack for the next week, and if the luck of the sea be upon you, you might even leave with another man's soggy trousers. Yarg. Bring you and all your salty sea dogs down to Port Khazard and sign up to take a trip out on Captain Murphy's fishing trawler. Be the seaman you were meant to be. Yarg.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. And I think I speak for Oxie, and he sure did too. So, this is the part of the show where we want to give a big shout out to our lovely patrons who support us over on patreon.com/xpwaste. So, starting out with the Wise Old Man tier, we have Scape Caution, Elagio, Bolimer B, Basket, Benjamin R, Captain Clunk, Morty, Drum TXT, King Flip, Fortimus, Harley Dad, Ice, Wallow, Jake W, aka Mole Man, Jordy, Macratinka Jones, Monkey Waffle, Mr. Darkside 76, Knocked Wraith, 999, Pooper Cheeks, Russa Fury, Salted Snake, Shadowblade, Troll. Thank you so much, everyone. I almost kept reading, but those are the Party Pete's. We love you too. But moving on to our KBD tier, let's give a warm shout out. No, a lovely shout out and a warm welcome and a happy clapping applause for Oxie's dad.
A happy clapping applause. Let's go, boys.
Oxie's dad. Cookies and Milf, Evan B, Hydraulic Monkey, Kroll, the Lord Jake himself, P Joint. This is a new one. Ralph. Thank you, Ralph. He's never going to listen to this.
My third favorite clan
my third
friend.
favorite patron.
My third favorite patron. There it is right there.
Ryan, aka Akuna, and Spartan Fire. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support over on Patreon. Like I said, patreon.com/xbase. If you would like to join, we have a lot of benefits there that are Patreon related and some are Discord related. So if you decide to hop on over and support us there, make sure to check your email for a link to our TNL Discord, where you will find even more benefits that we do not have listed. So check us out over there. Thank you so much again for all the support. So this is the part of the show now where I'm going to read the community question.
I'm going to read the community question because I found out how to access it this week. But you still probably should do YouTube because I definitely don't have that pulled up. But
Okay, I'll do YouTube.
because
Oxie,
you
thank
also
you.
have the fun question this week. You saw it first. You're going to say it. So, So last week we asked, what is your most unpopular RuneScape opinion? We got 10 responses, and we have 10 things to read off to you guys right here. I just beat the shit out of a rabbit by accident. I'm sorry, rabbit. So,
Or rabbit.
Miko says wilderness boss KC tasks should be removed from the combat tasks and the bosses should be private instance. I half agree because, well, actually, no. Private instance depends on how the rework goes. I potentially full agree. Also, jars should be untradeable. 100% agree.
I have a
Jacob,
question.
yeah.
If they're private instanced, it's no longer a wildy boss. Changed my mind.
I can't. You're right. It's no longer a wildy boss. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, so I half agree with you, Miko, about the wilderness bosses, but the jars, 100%.
100%.
Jacob says, Jagex needs to work on mobile client as a priority. Mobile players are still in 2007 metaphorically. I agree with you, and I only have minimal experience because I don't play on mobile too much because mobile sucks for a PC player. If you're out there grinding on mobile, more power to you. I'm not very good at playing on my phone. Mobile does need some significant improvements. Lumpy Tofu says, gonna steal this from Reddit. If you're banking and someone steals your spot, it's not crashing. I agree to an extent. Earlier today in leagues, I went to go bank all the fossils I got from ammonite crabs at the volcanic mine. There's a spot just south of volcanic mine. There's 3 ammonite crabs there. I left for maybe 15 seconds to go put my fossils away and come back. And in the probably 30 game ticks I was away, somebody logged in and took my spot. That guy can go fuck himself. But like, if you're gone for more than like 2 minutes, it's not. I half agree with you as well, Lumpy Tofu. Also, what a name. What a name. This person's name might be a phone number, so I'm not going to read it out loud. But you know who you are. The OSRS versus RS3 hate is stupid. People enjoy what they enjoy. I agree. I just straight up agree.
I agree.
Comments aside, I'm with you on that one.
Sure.
Our boy Goffs says mage should be a more viable combat style. I think it's pretty viable in a lot of places. I think mage in the right situation is terrifying. I think we have really good mage weapons. I think what could be improved is the standard spellbook use.
Yeah.
For combat. I think standard spellbook has like the utility and the teleports of a standard spellbook. Like, it's through the roof. It's too good. But like the combat skills, other than like I'm bad at the game and didn't know that Iban staves cost so much to upgrade when you're an Iron Man. So I've been using like blast spells, and that's how I trained on my main when I was training magic when I was lower level and poor. So like, I there are a lot of spells that are better. Like the ancient offensive spells are really good, but I think the offensive capabilities of the standard spell book could be improved. But I think tridents and sang staffs and kodais make that not really viable. So I half agree with you, Goffs.
Maybe low level magic is what we need to look into.
Low level magic can be OP, but only if you save spot, right?
Yeah.
Either way, Goffs, I half agree.
Actually, when you're talking about like the lore of, just thinking about D&D, usually if you're a wizard or you're somebody like that, you're pretty squishy. And the whole idea is that you stay back, you don't get attacked, and you do a ton of damage. And that's kind of how low level magic is. Like at level 9 or whatever, level 13, you get Fire Strike, which hits 9s as its max hit at a level 13. That's pretty, that's pretty beefy right there. So
yeah, it's pretty beefy. Then compare it to Fire Surge that has 2 uses, Ice Demon and PKing. Like, it's like reverse. Like, you'd think the higher level spells are used by everyone, when in reality, I, as an Iron Man on leagues, could carry Fire Strike through to, like, Ulm,
Yeah.
and, like, be okay. That's not a smart decision, but, like, you use Fire Strike for a while because it's accessible, because Mind Runes are dirt cheap, right?
yeah.
As a main or as an Iron. Chaos Runes are pretty cheap too if you're a main, buying them from the GE. But like, no one uses Wrath spells. So I think Mage could be improved. but like late game standard spellbook mage. It's weird because we already have so much for it. I'll contend that I still half agree.
Okay.
Riley says that certain skills should prestige, like smithing, to unlock something more useful than rune plates. I agree. Smithing needs a fatty rework.
I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I think that's a very popular opinion.
I think it is an unpopular opinion. Like changing smithing. We just spent an hour and a half talking about how changing RuneScape bad. In some cases, if we were like, hey, we're gonna make smithing totally different, I think the community would have a fit. But I definitely see that like nobody cares. I'm sorry, like the High Alkin community at the Varrock West Bank cannot speak for the whole player base here. Like,
right,
smithing, I would love a smithing rework.
Yeah.
Seymour, my man, says Jagex should be able to implement more changes without polling. Yes. Changing existing content or introducing new best in slot items should be discussed, but adding new skills and quests should not need 75% approval.
Yes.
That's it. That's the end of the show. We're done. We're ending on the highest note we could possibly achieve. Stop pulling quests. Stop pulling new skills. I'm sorry. Like, okay, maybe pull a skill and talk to the community about it. Develop it with the community, but don't just shoot it down because it only receives 74%. Make the threshold for a new quest like 30%. What is adding a new quest gonna do? What rewards are going to be so game breaking? Unless it's a grandmaster like Song of the Elves or DS2, don't pull that shit. Just put it in the game.
I mean, I argue they don't even need to pull those. You either like maybe pull the rewards, but they can put whatever content they want. Just make the rewards the thing that they're pulling.
But even then, like, we know that pretty much everyone other than me does not give a shit about quests for anything but the rewards. So at that point, if they put the quest in, but all the rewards get nixed, you have another quest like Soul's Bane that doesn't serve any purpose. It's not part of a bigger story, and the rewards suck ass. So, you know, if it's something big like Prif that offers meta-changing whatever, I don't even know if anything in Prif is meta-changing at this point, but like quality of life scape like Prif, or actual best in slot like DS2.
The anvil is like a couple tiles closer to a bank, so it did change the smithing meta.
But in any case, the grandmasters that introduced Prif Dinis, I otherwise known as quality of life Vil, Dragon Slayer 2, which is the best in slot range cape, and Monkey Madness 2, which is the best jewelry period, right? Yeah. And the seed pod. Pull those. Pull the quests. Don't pull the quests. Just make sure the rewards are cool with the community. I think I just rounded back to what Michael said, but don't be shitty, community. Seymour, my man. Awis or Awis? You popped into my stream the other day, and I didn't know how to pronounce your name then, and I still don't know how to pronounce it now. I apologize. Normal RuneScape is boring. Started again playing Group Iron Man and loving it. I'm glad you're having fun with Iron Man mode. That's a hard disagree from me. Iron Man makes me want to pull my hair out, tape it to my skin, and pull it off again. I'm sorry. I don't like Iron Man mode at all. But to each their own. I'm very glad you are having fun with Group Iron Man. Group Iron Man is a very unique, fun experience. Max says wiki guides ruin fun.
Wiki guides ruin fun?
I don't have a follow-up for that. I don't.
Okay.
Once again, we got the back-to-back to each their own, Mac.
Thank you for your
we asked for their unpopular opinions, and we're getting exactly that. And I'm so happy that like the community's voicing it. We've got Josiah, the last one, the nail in the coffin, who says he already knows. Oxie will hate me for this, but main accounts are boring. I cold quit at 1800 total level main because earning every inch of progress and being 100% self-sufficient is 1,000 times more satisfying. That is the justification for enjoying Iron Man mode that I love to hear. Okay. That said, I would still rather raw dog an ice sculpture than play an Iron Man as a main. I can't do it. I am so glad you enjoy it, Josiah, but I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't and I won't. I don't hate you, but I don't understand you. Michael, you got the YouTube comments?
I do. Tie-Dye Beats says, unpopular opinion, a tool belt in OSRS, but make it difficult to acquire. Some kind of very endgame reward. Maybe you can add a tool to it as a 99 perk, like a hatchet notch for the 99 woodcutting, etc. They also said cheers for the great podcast. So thank you for that. Let's see. Doom
we said
Bar.
We said no feedback in the community question.
Yeah, no feedback. Doom Bar. They said Mythscape over the Pizza Cape because Jad is a heckin' scary boy. I just love the word heckin'. But wait, you wear your myth cape instead of a fire cape?
I think they're saying they're struggling with Jad, so the myth cape is better. It's like me saying the fire cape is better because Zuck sucks.
Okay. And
which,
then,
again, I'm in those shoes. That's fair. You'll get the cape, but that's fair.
I'm struggling with how to pronounce this name, but I think it's Ganaria Lintu. If I just said something really obscene in another language, I apologize, but they said I said years ago to a Jagex Q&A in Reddit that graceful is super boring. Sure, there are recolors, but that's it. It's also it's also too good not to use. It annoys me the most when questing, and I can't even see my character's face because of that stupid hood. Efficiency in graceful has killed Fashionscape. I agree. They say, I remember back in the day when you could see Fashionscape everywhere you went. I suggested something similar, like changing graceful in a way that you could use a zero stat item on top of graceful. Can't give graceful bonus to armor, in my opinion. I was sad when I got downvoted hard. Long story short, that he goes on to say, like, there's been talk of putting, like, being able to combine a zero stat item, a Fashionscape item, with your graceful and give the Fashionscape the run energy stats. And it's been more accepted along the, as years have gone by. So they're happy to see that.
I am going to take a screenshot right now of what I'm currently wearing in leagues. And I'm only able to wear this because I
endless endurance.
I have 100% run energy. And the fact that you left this comment on YouTube tells me you watch the videos. So I'm going to put what I'm wearing up on screen right now. I don't know if I look ugly as sin or hot as but I can do that without run energy. You like that shoulder parrot? You like that half mithril G? You like the mole slippers? You like the Darox Great Axe and the adamant gloves? I'm real good at this game.
Nice.
I promise. But, like stuff like that. I'm in Priff right now. Everybody looks wild, running back and forth. Some people are looking efficient. Other people are naked. This guy is wearing full crystal, a hunter cape, rainbow boots, and a Draman staff. This guy is wearing a bot outfit, a fishing cape. Is that an adamant axe? And leather boots, and a Draken's medallion. The outfits don't make sense. To each their own. Down with graceful scape. I don't know. I agree.
All right. So now it is time for the achievement of the week. So we're gonna do a skilling and a bossing one. Is that how that works, Oxie?
Yeah, we will talk skilling and bossing. Let's go into the achievement of the week.
I think we need to give a huge shout out to Tyler. Huge shout out to Tyler. He's not in the levels and achievements, but this man got his first Zulrah KC this week.
Oh my
T-Pace
God.
in the clan.
It was so good. Michael, were you there to watch it?
I was not, unfortunately.
It was so good. He died a couple times, and then it's just like, I hate this game. I'm gonna brute force a mage method Zulrah. And he was cutting it close. The man was completely out of food. Zulrah was going into his second rotation, and we were like, all right, perfect. We have a green phase. We have a red phase. It was doing its thing like Zulrah normally does in that, like, green, red, blue, green, that rotation.
Yeah.
But once it rotates once, Zulrah stops following a guide. Zulrah just does whatever it wants.
Yeah.
So we're all like, oh God, why did it just pop up there? That doesn't make any sense. Holy shit. So we're all in the voice chat freaking out. Tyler's got no food. He's attacking Zulrah. He runs through venom clouds and dies.
Oh no.
A tick after the loot pops up on the ground, he respawns in Lumbridge with the message that says, congratulations, you've completed all the hard tasks in your Western Provinces diary. And then we started losing our shit in VC because that was so cool to watch. We love first Zulrah kills around here. That was good.
I would have been so sad if it was a 1KC Zulrah pet, though.
I think it actually would have. I don't know if it would have procced on the respawn. It may have popped up. He may have lost it if it was a 1KC pat or a mutagen. It would have sucked. It would have been heartbreaking, but thankfully that was not the case.
Yeah.
Collection log of shame at that point. Oh boy.
Oh, man. And then what we see here, Jamie got 99 thieving. She's very close to max.
Close. She's real close to max. What's she, like 2260 something?
2268. So
2268.
What is that? 9 more levels?
Yeah.
Any other 99s this week?
Do we have any other 99s this week? Outside of leagues, I'm honestly not sure. Outside of I'm really not sure outside of leagues.
I don't think there's a ton of 99s in leagues. The GC bot channel for me has just been on mute because...
Oh, dude, I had to mute it. I had to do it. I had to mute it because GZBot does this really neat thing that whenever you transfer over to your main game, it gives you all the XP. So it gives a huge notification that's like, Oxie M has leveled all 23 of his skills to this level immediately. And it gives like a notification chunk that I transfer to the main game. It's dumb.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb. But Fortimus got their quest point cape this week. Actually... yesterday. Technically today. Yeah, like 9 p.m.
1:30 in the morning. Shout out to everyone who has done something awesome this week, main game or leagues. We see you. You're great. Yeah. That was achievement of the week. Michael, I believe you also have a fun question for us that was sourced by the recording booth chat.
Yep.
That was definitely also our cold opener.
Oh yeah. You guys have heard a little bit of it, but recording booth chat, shout out to the mole man himself. He says, if you had to wear RuneScape clothing on a first date, what would you wear and why? So I've been in the same relationship for almost 11 years, been married for 5 years. It's been a long time since I've gone on a first date. My wife and I's first date when we started dating at 17 was at McDonald's. And I don't know what I would wear RuneScape related, but the first thing that comes to mind, like going on a date, not just a first date, but like if I was going to go on a date with my wife, I think I would wear mole slippers.
Damn it, Michael.
Did I take yours?
I was also going to say mole. I mean, I'm aware of other things too, but I definitely was going to say mole slippers.
Oh, okay.
Continue.
Yes.
I can change. We can't be, one of us has to change. Go ahead. Give me your,
we can't wear the same thing. I'm going to wear you want me to go head to toe here? Or is that what we're doing?
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. Head to toe. I'm going to wear, those Hosidius hoods, or like not the Hosidius hoods, but like, the hoods you can get from Clue Scrolls, Master Clues.
Mm-hmm.
I think those look hella good with the skill capes that they modeled them with. So like I'm wearing the Hosidius hood with a woodcutting skill cape. I'm going to wear a nice monk's top, monk's bottom, and mole slippers. Real earthy tones. Just like super hella comfortable.
Real earthy. What a description there.
Earthy tones.
What a description. Man. Earthy
untrimmed
tones.
woodcutting, by the way. Untrimmed woodcutting.
Untrimmed woodcutting? Okay.
Oh, glove and ring slot too? Okay, Mole Man has spoken. Glove and ring slot. Rings, I'm going to go with The Ring of Coins? I mean, how else am I going to pay for this date?
Get that money.
The Ring of Coins, and then gloves. Let's go with spiky red van braces. I don't know. If I have to fight somebody on the streets, I'm protected there because I have literally no like offensive gear. So you got to have the spiky red van braces.
The spiky red van braces, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm pulling up the transmog plugin right now just to see what I have. Oh, I have a max cape in full bronze. That's great. Did I already say? Oh, I just said the. Oh yeah, I said the woodcutting cape. I think another cool cape would be the max cape, just for the flex. Like, how are you gonna go out to? How are you gonna go on a date? That's like going on a date, a really nice dinner, and not wearing a suit. If you're not going out wearing your max cape.
But like, okay, are you wearing a suit to your first date at McDonald's though?
No. I'm just saying, for me, it's not a first date. I'm looking at this as if I'm going on a nice date with my wife.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think our level of fanciness is definitely differing here.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you got, Oxie?
What do I got? Oh man, I got all sorts of stuff. So the stuff I like enjoy wearing in game that I think looks cool is just horrendously uncomfortable. I would imagine IRL. Like Max Melee looks sick. That doesn't seem like a good idea. A Slayer helmet gives the wrong impression. A lot of anything that we wear commonly that we like, probably not a good shout. Angler outfit looks cool. The Spirit Angler outfit, that's a good look, but not for the dates that I have in mind, right? So I'm picturing what I want the most. No, it's not a first date. It's a fucking Infernal Cape. So the Infernal Cape has to be in there somewhere, right?
Okay.
But that also shapes the whole date, right? Infernal Cape, you go to one of those coffee shops in northern Michigan that allows you to sit outside, but also doesn't give a shit and keeps their patio open in the wintertime. Been to a couple of them. They start fires for you. That is the most grotesque thing I have ever seen in my entire life, Mike. If that's what you're wearing on a first date, the date's not coming back.
I just put a little something together for in the transmog.
That is a little something straight out of hell, but good to know. So I think for me, right, Infernal Cave would be part of it. You're chilling, outdoor coffee shop in front of a little bonfire there. You take the cape, wrap it around the person you're with because it's long,
so
and
warm.
presumably it's warm because it's molten lava. Doesn't matter who. Little insight into my personal life. I'm here for the he's, she's, theys, and gays. I like them all. So I don't know who the first date's going to be with, right? But what else am I going to be wearing? Ring slot, Ring of Suffering. Because if you can see it, the Ring of Suffering matches the Infernal Cape, right?
Ooh.
We're talking gloves. I'm thinking, do I just go with like a nice pyromancer outfit, but not the hood, right? I don't want the hood. The hood's a bit much.
Yeah.
You know?
The hood is a bit much. But hey, you got your mask covered. If this is still like pandemic, whatever.
No thanks. We're going to assume the pandemic's over. Okay. I have an Infernal Cape. All's well in the world. No more pandemic. So, you know, do I rock something like, oh God, what was the outfit I just had in mind? I just had one in mind, Michael. What was it? Oh, Twisted Ancestral. That's cool.
Twisted Ancestral? Hell yeah, that's a flex.
Like Twisted Ancestral looks nice and soft, you know? The idea is to be like nice and warm and soft together. Yeah. So while I would definitely look hotter with like my beer gut poking out from Bandos, right? I definitely think that like for the date we're going for here, we want a more comfortable, cozy approach, you know? Mm-hmm. Comfy and cozy. Exactly, Mole Man. Comfy and cozy. Gloves, though? I'm not sure. Gloves? Like, what are we thinking? What are we thinking for gloves? Am I... Bandos as if you're taking them bowling, baby.
They don't have this in RuneScape, but fingerless gloves are kind of the play I'm thinking.
That just looks weird. Anything fingerless to me is strange. Michael... I'm literally begging you to turn the transmog plugin off because that's cursed. and I hate every second of it. That's terrible.
If you guys are on YouTube, I will most likely throw these pictures up.
Yo, would the zealot robes from Shades of Morton look good with an infernal cape? Think about it. Would the zealot robes from Shades of Morton look good with the infernal cape?
Zealot robes from Shades of Morton. Well, let's just look. Let's throw it on. Infernal cape. Infernal max cape.
Nope, just the infernal cape, not the max cape. Too many lines, right?
Well, I mean, you're not going to see my head, or you're not going to see the front, but here's a side view.
Can you please take the cow mask off? All right. Well, it turns out the zealot robes are bell bottoms, so no thanks. No thanks for the bell bottoms. I'm thinking pyro's a good. No, twisted ancestral. I don't know how it would look. If I show up in full RuneScape outfits and the person I go on the date with doesn't immediately leave, I've won.
Yeah.
So the way I see it, if I show up in a grotesque cow mask and mole slippers and they don't leave, okay, sounds good. We might have ourselves a winner.
You done it.
She pulls her Max Infernal cape and shames you. You know what? Then that's the one. That's the one right there. They say, I see your Infernal cape and I raise you an Infernal Max cape. We'll just skip the whole process.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael, it looks real good. Why did you have to add the bunny ears on top of the outfit? What is your impression?
What do you want from me?
I wish there was a knit hat in old school RuneScape, because realistically that's what I would wear. But
what do you want from me?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
A knit hat.
The poor man's twisted ancestral hat is basically what you just put on. Michael put the cream wizard hat on with the twisted ancestral.
Do you mean this?
With the transmog plugin.
I love the transmog plugin. It's just it's a lot of fun.
I hate that so much. This is the only segment that you're gonna want to watch on YouTube for sure. Just so you can see all these horrible pictures that are popping up on screen right now.
Or subscribe to Patreon and join the recording booth chat.
Yeah, you can get immediate access. But thank you, Mole Man. This has been a really fun question. This whole community has been supplying the fun questions. Is a wonderful win-win, because A, we don't have to do the mental work to think of a community question because it's 1:33 in the morning and I can't think of a community question. And B, it gets you guys involved in the show, which is awesome. Mole Man says he'd go on a second date with any of these outfits.
Hell yeah.
Okay. To each the theme of this second half, to each their own, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, you said community question. That does remind me that we need to pick a community question for this episode.
We do need to pick a community question
I'll let you
for this
do it,
episode.
You're the one who took that segment over for this one.
I did take that segment over for this one. So we're going to ask, we're not going to ask any loaded questions. What's your favorite kind of rune?
That's a fun one.
Mine's a nature rune. Just, I don't know. You don't need to give me a reason. What's your favorite kind of rune?
Cool. Cool. Is this the end of the show?
I think this is it. This is the end of the episode at 1:35 a.m. Oh my goodness.
This is the new normal, Oxie.
It is the new normal. Great guns. We're going to have to start waking up on Sundays at like 2 p.m., dude. We got to work at night.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. If you are on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like the episode. It does help with the algorithm. So I've heard. I'm not sure, to be honest, but
we say that having no idea how the algorithm works.
Who knows? Follow the show on Spotify. Follow us on all of our social media that's in the description. And join the Patreon, patreon.com/xpwaste. Check out Dorks and Daggers, the RuneScape themed D&D podcast that we were on as guests. Big shout out to them. They've been absolutely killing it each and every week. If you can, leave a comment on the community question and leave a comment on the pinned question on YouTube. Answer the questions for us. What's your favorite rune? If you made it this far in the episode, thank you so much. We appreciate your support. We love you. And we will see you next Wednesday. Bye.